I was just looking into doing some volunteer work, and I really wanted to do it with animals. And after a lot of research, I found Harnas.
I decided it was probably the best place in Africa to experience hands-on with the big cats, the lions and the cheetahs.
We literally came in and they said, pay attention today because tomorrow you do it by yourself. That never happens, you don't get that experience. It takes months of training to do things like this.
It puts a certain responsibility on your own shoulders to really do a proper job, be here wholeheartedly and really want to be here for the animals.
At the morning meeting, we just give to them the activities for the full day. For instance, 4 will be accountable for the food preparation and the feeding of the animals and the cleaning of the enclosures. And they usually structure themselves where they say, so if I'm doing the tour today, then tomorrow morning I'll walk the cheetahs and the day after that I'll do food prep.
On the first day, we started by preparing all of the animals' food, and we were being looked over by the people that had been here for a few weeks before us.
Food prep's my favourite part of the day.
The first time I walked in and saw this horse's leg there, I thought this is going to be foul, but actually it's fine. And especially when you see the animals eating, you just appreciate more and more about survival.
The first day I got to feed Zion and Trust, I got a horse's head. It's not always the best job, but you get to go and see the animals and give it to them, and you see how big they are and they can take you down at any time. So you just respect their space and they're fine.
A couple are a bit nervous at first, but they tend to get over their fears and come in. I've seen some people quite nervous and manage to throw out the entire length of the platform and end up at the other end of the enclosure.
I don't get scared now with coming in and feeding them. When I very first did it, my heart was beating a little bit faster because sometimes if they're very hungry, they jump up playfully because they know you've got food. But now, not at all. No, they're lovely to work with.
Most of all, the people are afraid of the animals, and we have to create normal situations. And once they've overcome the fears, then it's good.
The first scary animal that I got to go in with was the crocodiles. I didn't know that we actually went over the fence and then had to find them and then had to throw the meat at them.
They did give us an explanation of what the animals were like, but it's always scary when a cheetah or a lion growls at you. They say not to run, but it's just a natural thing.
They start with the small baboons. When they are used to this, we take them to the bigger ones. And very soon you find that people want to go back because they've overcome one challenge.
Amy took us for a walk with all the baby baboons, and before you knew it, I had 5 of them on me, and I've got myself a couple of really hardcore baboon bruises.
Today alone, I've been bitten about 4 times. It really depends what animal you're with, the people that are around you, if they're loud, quiet.
Working with baboons is like working with children because they can't exactly tell you specifically what they want, but the more you work with them, the more you learn their personalities, and they've all got mood swings, and it amazes me to work with something like that that's not human, but you look at it and you see how they will interact with something and you're like, that's exactly how a child would do it.
I've definitely built a bigger respect for some of the animals. You're thinking, great, lion, you want to get in there, and then one knocks you down and you realise there's got to be a respect and a trust.
Cats are easier to read than the baboons because you can actually anticipate what their next move will be.
When you walk with Zion and he will walk beside you and he'll nuzzle you and he'll want to cuddle with you, that's amazing.
Harnas has got a baby leopard called Lost. 2 weeks ago she was so small, and in that short time her teeth have become like needles and her claws are super sharp. She's just a terror. She's just incredible.
Gumby the brown hyena is definitely my favorite. He's beautiful, and he will come right over to you. He looks right into your eyes and lays down and just stares at you, and you can have a full conversation with him. It really seems like he's understanding everything you're saying.
There are certain rules, for example with the baboons or with the lions, that are different for each animal, so that you can show him what you're thinking or what you want, and he doesn't misunderstand it.
A bond doesn't just come because you want it to come. You have to work at it.
Many times we've got the feedback of people saying that, I'm back in Europe, and all of a sudden I'm nothing. Over at Harnas, I saved an animal, I released an animal, and they feel that they are all of a sudden full of life. And therefore we build it in just to say to them, if you're back there, remember the realities will hit you.
You don't even realize it when you're sitting next to a cheetah and you're just laying with it reading, as if it's nothing. But then when you go home and you realize, I don't have a big cheetah following me around, I don't have lions to walk with today, it's absolutely surreal. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I find it many times volunteers standing around the grave of a little vivid monkey crying because he died. And then all of a sudden you find that the more you come close to animals, the more your feelings are open again.
I would hope that in this area we have touched some young people's hearts. With the Working Volunteer project, I think a lot of people get to experience animals firsthand and see what is happening in countries where there's poverty and where things are not always rosy.
There's a real spirit here with the family amongst all the volunteers as well. I don't think any pictures would ever explain just how inspiring and fascinating Harnas actually is.
It's been a safe haven here, and that's why we started the Lifeline project, so that we could release on a safe, secure area under controlled circumstances our animals.
That would be the best ending, to come back and see all the animals and not know them because they're all released.